Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Stoner Podcast with your favorite huggable stone nerd, Dexter, aka Mr. Puffin Stuff, aka the Nuggy Professor, aka Dr. Stoned, and aka the Weedy Weeb of the East.
I'm sorry, the Nuggy Professor?
Yes, the Nuggy Professor.
That's actually a great one. Oh my
Thank you.
god, Nuggy Professor. all right. I'm done. Please continue.
I am joined by one of the headest of nerds in charge, the goddess of the odd herself, Miss Lovely of Head Nerds in Charge. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I'm a little tired from work. And like we were just discussing before I had to record, got that post-con depression, missing everybody, and
it is too real.
Yeah, it's a thing. But how are you doing?
I too am tired. Not really. Like I haven't been to a con since May. I went to Comicpalooza for the first time, which was great. But right now it's just like I feel like it's too hot to have the energy to do anything but like try to make it through each day. Like I looked at the weather forecast. I'm like, are there clouds in the near future? Nah, it's just 100. I'm like, you're trying to kill me. So I'm inside where the air conditioner is great, but also it's too hot to do or be anything. Mm-hmm. I'm ready for the fall. I'm ready for Halloween, goddammit.
Yeah, me too. Fall is like that's probably my favorite time of the year.
Yes, no, same. It's literally my favorite season of all the seasons.
Nice. What do you? So I'm guessing you are a big horror movie fan.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, it's not just horror. I'm just like I'm a creep, like just by just nature, you know. All of the happy-go-lucky and the hunky-dory stuff that didn't really appeal to me even as a child. So like I don't know. I've always been like mystic weirdo who was into like the stuff that other people weren't into. Like if it was a trend or something, I'd be the last person on the bandwagon because I don't want to be on the bandwagon. Like I didn't start reading Harry Potter. Fuck you, J.K. Rowling. Until I was like in high school, like about to graduate in 2008. And at that point, it was like, what? How many books and probably a couple of movies have been like released by then? I didn't really start reading the books until high school, just because everybody was on it, and I didn't want to do it because everybody was on it.
Do you know your house?
Ravenclaw.
Okay.
Every time I take a test, I get a different answer. Well, no, I'm sorry. Every time I take a test, it's one of two. I've never gotten Gryffindor. I've never gotten Hufflepuff. It's always ever been Slytherin or Ravenclaw. So I'm like, Slitherclaw, I don't know what that would be, meshing of things together. But it's like, okay, well, you're a creepy smartass. And I'm just like, yeah, pretty much. That's that. So I didn't question it. I just, accepted. But if you make me like gun to my head, knife to my throat, you make me pick one, I'm going to pick Ravenclaw because Luna Lovegood is like me. So, yeah, I love her. She's fucking awesome. Treasure. She needs to be protected at all costs, I promise.
Yes. Her and Jenny, they are two of the best in the book too. Best
Jenny
period.
Was a
She's
surprise.
a badass.
She is. Like she was nothing like her brother. I would imagine Mrs. Weasley is just like her, but because she had all those kids and she was a wife, she chose to be a nurturer and a homebody. But when she was in battle and her child got hurt by fucking Bellatrix, we was like, oh, so that's where Jenny might have got that from. Okay. All right, Mrs. Weasley.
All right, Molly, I see you.
Listen, it was great. It was fantastic. Fuck you, J.K. Rowling. You ruined everything.
She could have had something on par with like the Star Wars universe. Just endless.
She was on her way. Like if she wasn't already there, like come on, like that. The whole fandom is so immense. Like it's everywhere, and you have to go pretty far to meet a person who's never even heard of it before. Like I'm talking about even like in third world countries, they know Harry Potter. So like to have that kind of legacy and then to fuck it up by being a fucking bigot Like you could have just kept your shit to yourself, but like you had to be loud and proud about it. So I'm just like, ugh, ruined. But awesome.
It's okay because the fans have, basically they've taken it from her.
I love that.
Um,
I love it, honestly. I love all other fan fiction. They're like, okay, you can't be trusted. You go sit in a corner somewhere and die. Or maybe that's just me projecting. I don't know.
I actually read all the books for the first time during quarantine. So my girlfriend's a really big Harry Potter fan, and I told her I'd get through all the
They're
books,
really good
and
books.
they really are.
And they're for everybody. Like my grandmother was heavy into the books. Like when I was in high school, she's the reason why she's like, "Girl, I know that you're trying to do, but you need to read these because you'll love them." Because I've always been a bookworm, and she was like, "Just read the first two." Read the first two in like 2 days. I was like, "Oh
Wow.
my god, huh?"
I said, "Damn, wow."
Yeah, I didn't have bills back then, so it's amazing how much time you have when you don't have bills to pay.
Yeah, yeah.
Adulthood be adulting. It's a sad, strange life, but
Yeah,
we making it one day at a time.
yeah. And we make time for the things that we can.
Mm-hmm. Precisely.
Speaking of which, what other nerdy things are you into?
I mean, I'm a gamer as well. My partner has converted me from staunch PlayStation to also tolerating Xbox because, like, life be life in. So I can't talk too much crap about Xbox anymore because I'm on one almost every day. But I'm a gamer, I'm a reader, I do love anime. I'm not like otaku status, I don't think, because I'm not
Mm.
like hardcore into it, but give me a good story and good characters and I'll binge as long as I can. Movie buff. I want pretty much the arts. I love media. Like I love the symphony, orchestra, opera, ballet, movies. I'm a foodie. I'm an all around just nerd. I'm into whatever interests me. So
Nice. That's nice. You're well balanced, well rounded.
Renaissance.
There you go. An
I
urban
had to try.
renaissance nerd.
Right. Oh, urban renaissance. I like that. Okay. Urban. See, if you were white, I'd be side eyeing the fuck out of you. But since you black, I'll allow it. It's fine.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, when are you gonna come back on HNIC? I haven't seen you on there in a little bit.
Oh, child, that is a long story full of sighs.
Oh.
I had to take a break. I moved across the country and I had been on go nonstop for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hadn't had a break. A lot of stuff happened, a lot of stuff changed. And I lost a lot. Um and I realized that what I was feeling was burnout. And it had been oncoming for like I was ignoring my needs for like months, almost a year. And when it caught up to me when everything else in my life kind of went to shit. So timing was awful. But in hindsight, obviously, I'm like, well, everything happens for a reason. But in the moment, that doesn't really help much because
Mm-hmm.
you're going through the shit and you're just like, can I just not? And say I did,
Mm-hmm.
please. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's just right now, it is a journey of healing. It is a journey of wondering what direction I want to go in next. Because a couple of years ago, a lot of things were impossible in my mind, but now that's not the case. And when anything is possible, you'd be surprised at how overwhelmed you get because you don't know what your next step is going to be. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Anything is possible. So I'm like, okay, what do I do with all this knowledge and information that I have now? So we're figuring it out.
You just gotta take it day by day, right?
Precisely. Hour by hour sometimes. But
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And that is a message to anybody out there who's going through burnout or feels like they need to take a break or anything. Your
Listen to your
your
body because if you
your
don't,
health is your wealth.
your body will stop you if you don't stop. And I
Yeah.
promise you do not want that to happen. I was in the hospital last month. No, May. It was in May. I was in the
Oh
hospital.
no.
And my body was just like, bitch, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to stop. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a clear indication that something needed to change for sure.
Oh, I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you. I am too, Still
Yeah.
here, trudging along on this mud ball.
So I know you said you have like a few ideas of some stuff that you want to do in the future. Anything that you kind of is in like the forefront of your mind, like, you know what? I think I want to try that.
Um, Something to do with interviews. I have like a speech impediment, so I always like excluded myself from anything having to do with like speaking. I used to do like spoken word, but then I started getting a lot of hecklers, if you will, because of my stutter. So I stopped doing that. So when I first was introduced to Head Nerds in Charge, and they were like, "You need to do this and this and this," and I'm like, "But I can't do that. I studied." They're like, "Did I ask you if you studied, or did I ask you to do the thing?" So when I got, when I got into it, and I realized I had a knack for it, like I'm a natural. I don't. I feel like I don't interview. I converse, and it just so happens to be a person I don't know that I'm getting to know, but I don't treat them like that. And when I realized that I was good at it and that I could do it, even with, having a speech impediment, I was like, well, this whole new world just opened up. I'm really into wrestling. I'm really into music. So if and movies too. So like I've literally seen clear visuals in my head of like being on somebody's carpet and interviewing people. You know what I'm saying? Um, I am in the process of studying project management. So I'm not sure what I want to do with that yet, but I feel like I could make that along with my love of the arts. Like I feel like I can mesh that in some way, but that is the part where I said like, okay, I'm not quite sure what direction I want to go in yet,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely want to get back into the flow of like, like at the cons, being a moderator at the panels and stuff like that. I was a natural. I had never done it before, but I was at Fan Expo Philly last year, and I was able to interview a couple of celebrities, and
That's awesome.
I was overwhelmed. But everyone was like, "Oh my god, how long have you been doing this?" I'm like, "It's my first time." They're like, "No, shut up! Oh my god, you need to come back. You need to do this." And I was like, "Well, shit, maybe I can do this too." So yeah, no. And then I up and moved. So it's like I have to establish these roots. Like I basically I had to start all over again, which used to
Mm-hmm.
intimidate me as a concept. But now it's like, well, anything could literally happen. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to starting that up again in a new place and taking on that challenge for sure.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm really happy for you. It's good
Thank
that you
you.
like you were able to, put yourself out there and, just really kind of be seen for who you are and what you wanted to do, and it just be so natural that people are like, "Oh my god, must have been doing this for years."
Right. And it was for a person who lives in their own head a lot and who can struggle with like imposter syndrome, it
Mm-hmm.
can be tough because I don't take compliments well.
Mm-hmm.
I know that that is like linked to a whole bunch of other shit, but like at the end of the day, you cannot ignore the evidence. You can't ignore the facts. So like if you think that you're not that good, but literally everyone else around you is like, nah, bitch, do it. It might be okay to believe in that. And even if you're
Mm-hmm.
not as good as you want to be, like you have control over that too. You can practice, you can learn and research and do all that stuff. So, and if there's one thing I'm good at doing is research. Like when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to like my, you know, like that stuff, I'm a planner, I'm an organizer. So if there's anything I can do, so I'm just like as soon as it clicked in my brain, because like I really feel like I feel like I have ADHD, and I've
Mm-hmm.
never been like officially like diagnosed. But whenever I read into it, it matches me like so perfectly. So like getting to the easy part of like you do have control over what you want to do. You do know that, right? Like even though you think you can't, even though you're not that good, you can just practice. And I'm just like, but I'm not good at it the first time I do it. I don't want to do it. That don't even make sense. But that's how I've been
Yeah.
thinking like my whole life. So like I just turned 33 and I'm learning like again that like the last time I changed a lot about myself, it didn't mean that that was all I would have to do or that was the last time I'd ever have to do it. Like to exist is to grow and to
Mm-hmm.
learn. And if you're afraid of that or if you're intimidated by that, then there's something very dangerously wrong. If you're trying to stay the same person all the time. So yeah, I am a consistent work in progress. I'm still dope, but I'm a consistent work in progress. So
Yeah.
I treat myself as such. I'm learning to have grace for myself
Mm-hmm.
because I can be super gracious with anyone else around me. I can be very considerate of anyone else around me, but like I don't save that or like reserve it for myself. And that was also causing a lot of damage, like mentally and emotionally and spiritually. So to unlearn all the shit that carried you when you were trying to survive. Like you may know that it doesn't apply to where you're at now, but because it kept you safe in an unsafe environment, it's hard to let that shit go because it's all you knew.
Mm-hmm.
So even at 33 years old, like, bitch, start over. It's okay. I'm just like, okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Never forget, y'all. It's never too late to start over, or if you have to start over, there's nothing wrong with that because shit happens in life. Shit that you can't control.
We're
Shit
all going to
that
die anyway.
that
Do
part.
the fucking thing.
Nihilism. Who cares? We're
And
all gonna
so
die.
you have been introduced to another side of lovely. So there you go. Nihilistic existentialist.
The lovely nihilist.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, that's a new moniker. Let me type that. Lovely
Nihilist.
nihilist. It's one of the great perks of having an adjective as a name. So
Mm-hmm.
but no, I'm definitely gonna keep that in mind for a new moniker for me. Lovely nihilist. Yep.
Speaking of monikers, I've always been curious. How did you come up with Goddess of the Odd?
So I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan,
Mm-hmm.
and after uh, what was it? To Pimp a Butterfly was his most, I think, passionate work, and it was so like he was so passionate that there were so many tracks that were already ready for the album, but not all of them made it to like the final track list. So he released an album. It was just untitled. Every track was untitled this or track this, whatever. So untitled number 6, I think it is. It's Kendrick Lamar and CeeLo, and they're essentially speaking about a woman who's like one of a kind. Like I can't explain why I love you so much, but like you the shit. And then towards the end of the song, um he is like listing all of these attributes of her. And at the end of it, he was all like, "You're the goddess of the eye, I am yours." And I'm like, and Kendrick Lamar is a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. So like I already felt like, all right, I write poetry. He has been a poet ever since middle school, I think it was. And that's how he came to be where he's at now. So when I heard it, it always stuck with me as like, well, I'm odd as fuck. Like I'm a fucking weirdo. And to call me a goddess, like I didn't have high self-esteem my whole life. I didn't have confidence my whole life. And there are times when you have to fake it until you actually are convinced that that's what it is. So it's kind of like manifestation, I guess
Mm-hmm.
is the word I'm looking for, of that confidence. So like on the days when I'm not feeling very cute and attractive, or on the days where I'm hit with a depressive episode or whatever, like to look at something as simple as a moniker can help me to feel like, you know what, bitch, you are that bitch. Even when you don't look like it, even when you don't feel like it doesn't change who you actually are. And I feel like it just encompasses so much of who I am as a person, as a woman. So it's always been a thing. So I didn't want to spell it the way a lot of other people spell it. I'm like, so what's a funky, like, black ass way to spell this? So I tested out a couple of things, and that's been me ever since.
Nice. You know what? It sounds just like like you would hear somebody with some soul say it too, like that goddess.
Put that extra stank on it, that extra little razzle dazzle. You know what I'm saying? Yep, needed for sure.
Nice, nice. Do you have any other names you like to go by?
LJ the Great. or just LJ is my initials. I have I have like funny names that I come up with every now and again. Like on here I put like the Mistress of Memories because I'm queer as fuck. So I'm just like, which is crazy because I'm actually an ass woman, not really titties, but like alliteration for the win. So
Yeah,
there you go.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. Trying to think of something that would be good for butts. I don't know.
You
It'll come
said
to me later.
butts, mulatto butts.
Asses.
No, see, I've been binging Archer with my partner, and that's his Archer's ringtone on the show. Mulatto butts. So like when you heard butt, like when I heard butts, I started thinking about the song. Don't mind me, I'm crazy.
Hey, I'm crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually never seen Archer. Well, I've only seen like a handful of episodes here and there, I think.
All right, so fair warning. A few parts of it didn't really age well as far as the kind of humor. But it's not so crass that it's not for a reason. It's not like ever not contextually relevant in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But Archer is autistic as hell, but he's brilliant. But also he has no filter, like at all whatsoever. He's a playboy for sure. Like he screws anything on two legs that is attractive. And sometimes he doesn't have to be attractive because he's that drunk. But the humor, like every single character is funny in their own way. Every single character has their own like story in some way. And we're I think 10 seasons in and still laughing every single episode. I'm talking about like gut wrenching, tears flowing from your eyes, laughter. And then there's also a lot of real shit in there too. Like fuck. So check it out if you want to. It's a great show to watch when you are choked up with your lady. Like if you just want to chill and just like empty out your mind and just laugh, it's a great show for that. So
Okay. I'll add it to the list.
please do. It's good.
So now you've had a chance to chat for a little bit. I gotta ask you, if there was a character that you could sesh with, who's it gonna be and why?
See, that's a tough question. Cause I mean, like, do you have like a theme? Like, does it have to be like an actor? Can it be a person in a movie or a book or something? Like, help me like narrow down the.
Literally anybody you want.
Oh my god.
So, fiction, nonfiction, anime, animated, TV, movie.
All right, let me give you a couple because it's hard. I would love to smoke with the entirety of Odd Future.
Okay.
If you include ASAP Rocky in there and Riri, like I would love to smoke with them and just create something. Like I just want to be like in the studio with them. We all high out of our fucking minds and just like create like an EP or some shit. I don't know why that's in my brain to do, but it's in my brain to do. So that's real people. As far as like fictional character, that's tough. It's tough. It's tough.
I get it. I get it.
Okay, so let me skip that. Let's go to animated. Animated person that I would want to smoke with. Samurai Jack.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I feel like it would do him so much good because there's no way he's not repressed as hell. Like when you're hell bent on one thing all your life. So I would just love to know what he would be like to just smoke and just like let go of some shit. He'd probably be a problem. But like I've always wondered, I was like, he seems so uptight all the time. So like if he had like one J, like what would he do with a J? I would love to know. So there's that. And let's see. Fictional character. Duh, Luna Lovegood. Me and Luna token up, man. Stop it. We would have to like record ourselves. We would go viral and people would want to watch us do that so much because like there's literally no telling what would happen or what we would talk about. So I'd probably have to smoke with my like literary twin for sure because we're both weird. It could only be fun. Like there's nowhere to go but up with that type of situation. So I'm sure there's other people that I could think of, but those are people like off top of my head that I would want to smoke with for sure.
Those are some good picks. Oh, maybe you could call your show like The Odd Ones or something like that.
That's what I call like my people on social media. It's
Aw.
like my odd ones, yes, or my oddities.
Nice.
You got good ideas. Look at you.
Thank you.
Great ideas.
That's that good old ADHD. It has its pros.
Listen,
sometimes.
it definitely does. And wait, is that a sativa that you're smoking? Because I could also be helping.
That's true too.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't 100% remember what this is. It's
living my
doing
best
the job.
Mm-hmm. That works. No, it works.
How about some people you think would be not so fun to sesh with?
Elon Musk and Joe Rogan.
Well, yeah, those are definitely two.
They smoke, and I used to want to smoke with them, but now I don't. Trump. Nope. Andrew Tate. Nope. Although he's not gonna be doing much or nothing, because who would be a complete stick in the mud? You know what's funny? I was gonna say TD Jakes, but I feel like he would be a lot of fun if he was high. So no, I'm not gonna do that. Who else would I not want to smoke? I feel like as obvious of an answer Snoop Dogg is, I feel like he would literally kill me. Because you smoke that much over a course of 40 fucking years. I've only been smoking since 2016. So like I can't even smoke a whole blunt by myself yet. Like, yeah, like, oh wait, you done yet? Nick, we have passed 6 blunts around. It is 10 o'clock. We woke up at 8. What are you doing? Cause I'm like, I think I read somewhere that he can go through like a pound of weed in like a few weeks or something. I'm just like,
I think so. I mean, he has his own professional like blunt roller. So
listen, Kid Cudi has one too. So that's a fun fact about me. I roll the prettiest blunts. Okay.
Really?
I have a whole process and I'm very proud because it took me a minute to learn. But once I got the basics down, I was able to like adjust it to my style. And you can ask anybody who has ever smoked a blunt that I've rolled. I've spoiled people. They're like, I don't even want to smoke other blunts because yours is just so great. And I'm just like, thank you. And like, I don't use tobacco wraps anymore. I haven't used them since 2017. I use hemp wraps only.
Nice.
So now I don't know how to roll a joint. Those are hard. I don't know how people are so good at rolling papers, but my fat ass little fingers be struggling. So yeah, no. But I do roll very pretty blunts. And I saw Kid Cudi post because he was on, I don't know if he was on tour or if he was just having a show. And he posted on Twitter, he was all like, I need a professional blunt roller, serious inquiries only. I'm just like, I don't have a resume, but I can send you pictures of my pretty little blunt. So then I was like, do I want to be a professional blunt roller? Because I feel like I'd be good at that. But no.
I mean, you should. It would skill on your resume,
right? It would be a hobby, like a passion hobby for me. Just like, yes, please pay me. But also, if you didn't pay me, and we just smoked together after a show, I would be so happy with that. Oh my god. Yeah, nah. I get into so much trouble. I'd be high all the time. And I got shit to do. I'm somebody's mom. Like, I can't be high all the time.
Damn. I need to try one of your blunts now.
Yes, you do.
I can't roll for shit.
For real, you can't roll?
Not really, no.
There are so many
joints I'm okay. Blunts, not so much. But I mean, like anything, you just need practice.
Exactly. Because when I first started, like I used to smoke cigarettes, unfortunately. So I used to make spliffs. That was like my introduction. Mm-hmm. And so I had a really bad experience with K2 when I was like 19. And I thought that that's just how weed would just hit me. So I was terrified. But I'm an insomniac. And I was going through a really rough time in my life to where like my insomnia was like kicked up a notch. Like I hadn't slept longer than maybe an hour and a half in like a week. And I was starting to feel it. And my best friend was like, girl, you need to try this. I was like, no. Because the last time I did that, I threw up and I was hallucinating. I had a headache for 2 days. I'm okay. She was like, girl, no, this is not Reggie. This is not that other stuff. This is Dro. I was like, oh, what's Dro? So she explained it to me. And I was like, well, can I have one weed, please? She was like, well, here you go. She had a pipe, which, again, I can understand why you're not that good at rolling because there's so many other ways to enjoy weed nowadays. It's great. But yeah, so she had a pipe. I took like 3 hits and I was done. It was an indica too. I was done. Like I slept that first night, I slept for like 16 hours straight. And after that, I was on board. I was like, bitch, what? I was like, and when I'm high, I have more patience and more like capacity to just like take a step back. Like Cat Williams was not lying. Like, fuck it, gets in your system real quick.
I mean,
and like to the people who take it above and beyond and just don't do shit at all, like I can see why at the beginning. But when I learned how to be a functional high person, I was like, bro, this has improved my quality of life. Like my social anxiety I can deal with, my just regular anxiety I can deal with when I am in a depressive state. Like when I'm sober, it's just like I feel like I'm just like trapped under it. But when I smoke, after that, I'm like, okay, I can feel the feelings, but I can think around them. Like, okay, why do I feel this way? And then it got to a point where it wasn't just when I'm high. Like I would like how I feel. I would like the way I would think. And so I'm just like, maybe I can carry this into my sober life. And I did. And it completely just improved so many things about like me and my mental and my spiritual. So like I'm an advocate for it forever. Like forever I will advocate for it because it's done nothing but good for me. Like the only bad thing is it costs money. And you know, it may or may not be illegal in the majority of the United States still, but you know, those are the only bad parts. I went to Colorado once. Oh my God. Everybody is nice. Customer service was top fucking notch. Like from the Walmart to the restaurant we went to, everybody had, like, no one has a reason to be mad because as much money as that state made off of it, they don't have to worry about their infrastructure or their schools or anything. They got billions in revenue. Billions. So yeah, no. I used to think I wanted to be in the industry, and I think I do to a certain extent. Like, I also have like a green thumb. I love to garden and stuff, and so I was just like, I would love to grow my own plants. Oh my God! Like the science that goes into it and the splicing of the strains together. Oh, science, bro! I'd be super into it. But yeah, no, it's super great.
Nice. Well, I can definitely say as someone who currently works in the industry and has been in it for a little bit, research your companies because there are some not so great ones out here. Unfortunately, a lot of these companies, yeah. So you can, yeah, and yet people that look like us are still locked up for it.
I was just about to say, free every single person who is incarcerated over a non-violent weed charge. Free them right the fuck now, because it's dumb. And like it's a slap in the face. It's a like a pimp slap and a punch in the face actually to know that like there are so many I have seen some people of color in the industry, but the people who were able to capitalize the most at the beginning of that are the people who already had the resources in order to do so.
Yeah.
And we know a majority of that is white people because they have generational wealth and shit. We ain't got that yet. So, but don't get me started. I have a soapbox in every color. But yeah, no, it's infuriating to know that there are people who are still suffering for like, if you think about it, like a minor thing, because I said, you know, nonviolent crimes, don't get it twisted. Nonviolent crimes for like possession or whatever the fuck. Like, why are they still in there? Because you're trying to prove a point, or because you know that if black folks could do this like legally, we would fucking wreck shop. We've been doing it on the streets, and they knew they're like, wait, if we make this legal, they're gonna get money. They're gonna be able to start having generational wealth. We can't have that. So keep them locked up. They're competition. But again, that's a whole other conversation. I already understand.
Yeah, I get it. One thing that I've always thought is like, if you were to legalize it throughout the whole country and take a lot of the money that was generated from that, that could be used to pay for reparations.
I mean, let's be real. If you were to tax the churches,
That
and
too.
also, I mean, taxing the churches alone would take care of so much. But then that on top of weed and whatnot, oh my God. But even if they had the resources to pay us some reparations,
Probably not.
dot, dot, dot. Because like you heard about what happened with the Oklahoma City survivors. There were like 3 left, and they're all over the age of 100. They attempted to sue the government to consider paying at least them, like reparations, and the judge agreed that there should be like a limit of like what you can claim as a result of a racial incident, and yet America paid reparations to the Japanese folks that they put into concentration camps. So it's just like, so that what you did was wrong. It just has to be a specific type of person who gets penance. But then also, if you consider the 400 years versus like the 6 or 7 years, yeah, I can see why the notion is intimidating. But if Germany can do it, like it's been ongoing. They're like, I don't care how long it takes. We have to pay them back because I was fucked up. So we know it's possible. They're literally just consciously choosing to not. Because again, if we were to get paid what we are owed, we'd be even more of a fucking problem. Because I don't know about you, Black folks are magic. We make everything better. So can you imagine? Like just take a step back and just imagine what would happen if we got the trillions of dollars owed to us. A girl can dream. But that would mean that our government wasn't corrupt and they would be doing the right things. That is the part where I'm just like, yeah, no, probably not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. But hey, we are going to keep doing what we're doing to succeed and where we want to succeed, and keep having good conversations like this and spreading the truth.
Spread the truth.
Exactly. Well, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I appreciate you coming on here and talking to me and chatting with me.
Absolutely.
You want to tell the people where they can find you?
No, because it's not right now. Me. No, I'm playing. Gawdess of the odd, as you can see here. The fucking goddess of the odd ones. That's my platform. I said my platform. That's my name on all platforms. Gawdess of the odd. Blah, blah, blah. Gawess of the odd is my name. And you can find me on pretty much any platform with that name in some form or fashion. Be on the lookout for you, girl. I have been creating. I have ideas on what I want to create. It's just a matter of figuring out what I want to do. Maybe I'll just do it. I don't fucking know. But right now, you can expect more from me when I'm in a better place. So I'm working on that. And when I'm in that place and I feel like it's time to go ahead and put myself out there again, then I will absolutely do that. But on my time, not anybody else's. Love y'all, though. Appreciate the support.